Hello and welcome to this overview on the Chicago Author Date System of Referencing. This overview will briefly introduce you to the whats, whys and hows of using Chicago to meet the referencing needs of your subject. Okay, well, let's begin by looking at what referencing is, why it's done and how we do it. Firstly, just what is referencing? Well, referencing is a method of giving your readers 5 pieces of important information about the ideas and information you will have used in your essay. As you can see, these include the name, year of publication, title, name of publisher, and the place of publication. Next, we'll consider why we have to reference your information and ideas. We reference for the sake of academic honesty and to give our readers the opportunity to examine your sources of information directly. Not to reference is to plagiarize. Well, referencing is not hard. It can be done in just 3 easy steps. Firstly, you note down the full bibliographic details, insert the citation in the appropriate place in your essay, and finally provide a reference list at the end of your essay. You get your information and ideas from different places called sources. Sources can include books, print journals, electronic journals, the World Wide Web, government publications, and other sources including TV and radio programs, podcasts, emails, interviews, and so on. We generally try to get the same information from each source. In other words, name, date, title, and so on. This is known as bibliographic information, and in the case of a book, can be found in the front and back of the title page. Here's an example of the 5 bibliographic elements that we would use from a book. Okay. They are the author, the year of publication, the title of the book, the place of publication of the book, the name of the publisher, and your citation would look like this. So, name, year, title, place of publication, publisher. Now let's have a closer look at this before we go on. Firstly, we notice that we have 2 names here. Well, this is the family name or surname, and this is the first name of the author. Generally, we use the family name in full, followed by a comma. The first name is given an initial only, followed by a comma. Then the year of publication, full stop. The full title, ending in a full stop, the place of publication with a colon, and the publisher's names with a full stop. Notice also that this reference has 2 lines to it. There's this first line which begins here, and the second line which begins here. Second and subsequent lines always begin indented. Here's the bibliographic information needed from a journal article. In the case of a journal article, you'll need the author of the article, the year of publication, the title of the article, the title of the journal, the volume and issue numbers of the journal, and finally the page numbers of the articles themselves. Here's an example of 7 bibliographic elements that we would use for a journal article. Okay, as we can see, we have the authors of the article, the year of publication, the title of the article, title of the journal, the volume number and issue number of the journal, and finally the pages of the article. Your citation would look like this, with authors, date, title of the article, title of the journal, volume number, issue number, and the pages. Please also note that the punctuation here is very important, and note where we put our commas, our full stops, and also the colons. You should also note that this is a reference which has more than one line. The first line begins here, and the second and subsequent lines begin here and here. Now, for all electronic information, all 7 pieces of information that we've just seen now, together with the database name or web address URL, are going to be necessary in your references. Now, you should always consult the library website for the latest information about how to reference electronic information. When referencing books, there can be some small differences depending on the number of authors a book has. So please check the library website for accurate details about this. Now, the same thing can also apply to print journals, depending on whether there are one or more authors, and also the type of article. This website can help you a lot, so please do refer to it. And yes, referencing electronic journals can all have some minor changes depending on the number of authors. And once again, we recommend that you visit this website to get the latest up-to-date detail on how to reference electronic journals. So, as you can very clearly see, the Curtin Library website is an extremely useful and necessary source of information for helping you to get your referencing right. Now, to help you organise your work and to show your lecturer whether your referencing is on track or not, draw up a table like this. Okay, your table should include 2 columns. Here's a column here and a column here. This column will indicate what your sources have been, and this column will indicate to the lecturer and to you the full references. So, for example, if your source has been a book with a single author, your reference will look like this. Another example, if it's been a book with 2 authors, then it should look like this. A further example would be if you were using an article from a print journal and the article had a single author, then your reference would look like this. Okay, so this brings us to the end of the overview on the Harvard referencing system. We now know that this is a systematic way of telling your readers where you got your information and ideas from, and that we reference for reasons of academic honesty and giving the reader an opportunity to follow up your sources should they wish to do so. I hope the overview has been of use to you. Good luck in your referencing.